It is the greatest stage in all of sports. The greats have graced this extraordinary place for 75 years. It is the house that the one and only Ruth built, and that the Iron Horse romped in. Miller Huggins was the manager of champions. Joe D is still the greatest living ball player. Rizzuto was the 50s catalyst. Billy Martin, the one and only Kid. There was Casey, and nobody won it more than Yogi. Whitey was World Series money. The M&M boys lit up the 60s with swings of Sultan proportion. There will be only one captain. Reggie, one word says it all. Donnie Baseball also grazed on this hallowed ground, in the shrine that hosted the great Garrick's premature retirement, and Don Larson's World Series gem, as well as Rogers' record-shattering 61st. David Wells added new sounds to the resonating halls of New York's baseball fame. The memories flood back today. It's Old Timers Day, where former Yankee greats shine over the grand old stadium in the Bronx. Welcome to a very special day at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, the New York City Marriott's Old Timers Day edition of the scorecard. The 52nd edition of the Old Timers Day has brought the greats back. Greg Nettles, Joe Pepitone, among others, and the Los Angeles Dodgers of 77 and 78 are on hand. Jay Johnstone will be swinging away wearing number 21 this afternoon. Chris Chambliss, a Yankee coach, Cliff Johnson and others wearing the pinstripes. They'll be swatting for the walls. And so will Tommy Davis, one of the all-time great Los Angeles Dodgers. And Jim Bouton, the prodigal son, has returned today to Yankee Stadium to wear the pinstripes and wear number 56 like only he did in the 1960s. And there is the panoramic view of Yankee Stadium in the Bronx on its 75th anniversary. It is Old Timers Day. DiMaggio, Rizzuto, Ford, of course. Righetti and Tian will join them, and Randolph and Stottlemyre, and the Dodgers, Tommy John, Al Downing, Steve Howe, and others. And hi, everybody. Mike Crispino with you here on MSG for the Old Timers Day, a special day. We'll follow this with the Chicago White Sox and the Yankees at 4 o'clock. But for the time being, we'll be watching the greats who have played certainly in the 77-78 World Series between the Yankees and the Dodgers, and we'll go back through the years to see all the other wonderful players who have worn the New York Yankee pinstripe uniforms. The Dodgers in the dugout. Look at Steve Howe, not long ago a Yankee, and Tommy Lasorda, his manager in 78 when they, or 81 rather, when they won it. Beat the Yankees in 6 games. And now upstairs to 2 men on Old Timers Day who refuse to reveal their age, except, of course, if it's in an official Yankee publication. Al Trautwig and Ken Singleton.
We do know this. No one around here is getting any younger. This is such an obviously great day, such an obviously cool day, the 52nd edition of Old Timers Day and the place where it was created. And, Ken, you just want to let it wash over you. You know, you don't have enough time to talk to everybody.
Yeah, certainly. And I think the most historic of franchises, New York Yankees, they can do Old Timers Day like no other team can do it, bringing back all their stars. And a lot of these guys out here today are guys I played against, and I can attest to the fact that they were very, very tough to beat in the late 70s. Players like Willie Randolph and Chris Chambliss, of course. Yankee fans get to see them. Mike Torres has come back, and you see some of the other Yankees. Luis Tiana's here today. It was so much fun seeing them at a different time. 20 years ago, maybe it wasn't so much fun, but today it is. The war is over.
Yes, it's absolutely fun. And we'll be back to celebrate the 52nd Old Timers Day at Yankee Stadium. Jim Bouton certainly trying to take it all in, returning to the stadium after a 30-year absence. And Dave Righetti looking like he could still make an 8th inning appearance today for the '98 Yankees. Back in a moment.
Welcome back to Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. It is the 52nd Old Timers Day. News from the dugout, Louisiana Lightning, Ron Guidry had a batter's glove on. He might try to swing a bat. That and other stories will be coming up in the Old Timers game, which comes up in moments. Upstairs to the inimitable voice of the Yankees, Bob Shepard.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 52nd annual Old Timers Day. Please direct your attention now to the microphone behind home plate, and let's welcome a man whose voice has become an Old Timers Day tradition. Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Frank Messer.
Thank you very much, Bob Shepard. Welcome, baseball fans everywhere. It's always a great day when old ball players get together, and today will be no exception. This afternoon, we'll meet some of your all-time favorite Yankees and Dodgers. Today's game highlights the Yankees and Dodgers championship teams from the 1970s. But before we introduce our old-timers, let's give a very warm welcome to the man who was present for the very first opening day of the house that Ruth built 75 years ago, and was also a very dear friend of the Babe. Please welcome little Ray Kelly. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the New York Yankees would like to recognize the man who has been an integral part of Old Timers Day for the past 25 years. The director of the Alumni Association for the New York Yankees. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a warm round of applause for Mr. Jim Ogle. The New York Yankees are proud to have him recognized here today. Jim. On behalf of the New York Yankees, where Jim, don't leave. Hey, Jim, don't leave. You like Rizzuto, you try to get away before the end of the game here. Ladies and gentlemen, the Yankees would like to honor Mr. Jim Ogle for all of his 25 years as head of the Alumni Association. Jim, please accept this gift and happy 25th anniversary.
Well, Frank, it's been a real pleasure to be with the Yankees for 25 years, especially since before that, all the fellows in the alumni, I traveled with them as a sports writer, and all those years are all still my friends. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. And I would be very remiss if I didn't mention at this time, although Jim gets all the credit, the lady who does all the work is Mrs. Jim Ogle, Claire Ogle. Claire's here with us. Thank you, lady. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to relax and enjoy this Old Timers Day as we bring to you the players who made it all happen over the years. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, please welcome one of the radio voices of the New York Yankees, half of the renowned John Sterling and Michael Kay radio tandem from WABC, Mr. Michael Kay.
Thanks, everybody. Looking out in the crowd, I can see a lot of people that are about my age. And growing up, there were three voices that came out of the radio and the television. Phil Rizzuto, Bill White, and Frank Messer. Let's have another voice, another cheer for the voice of our childhood, Frank Messer. Welcome to Yankee Stadium, everybody. It is the home of champions, 23 world championships, 34 pennants, and you know what? It's also the home of the team with the best record in baseball, the 1998 New York Yankees. And now let's meet the old-timers. Our first guest spent the mid-1960s with the Dodgers and made it to a couple of World Series. Let's meet Sweet Lou Johnson. Our next guest is a fellow who made a spectacular debut in 1968 at Fenway Park. He struck out the side. His first step in achieving Rookie of the Year honors, he posted a 17-12 record with a sparkling 2.06 ERA. He went on to a fine career and was a 20-game winner with the Chicago White Sox. A big welcome for Stan Bonson. Our next guest had 2 turns with the Dodgers and started his second round in time to participate in the 1977 and the 1978 World Series against the Yankees. He began his 16-year career as an infielder, but played most of his career in the outfield. Let's greet Lee Lacy. Well, the Yankees have had a long line of top-flight relievers, and our next guest is one of those. In 1969, he was the Yankees' top relief pitcher and spent 3 years in pinstripes. He remained active in baseball even after his playing days, and he ran a prestigious baseball school. Let's meet the Chief, Jack Aker. Our next guest spent 11 years in the majors. His 2 best were with the Yankees. In 1974, he hit .303 with 26 doubles. And in 1978, he played on the World Championship team. One of the finest defensive center fielders of his era, Elliot Maddox. Our next former Dodger is no stranger to Yankee Stadium. He spent most of his career in the American League with the Dodgers, the White Sox, and the Royals. This versatile infielder was part of the Dodgers championship team in 1978. They won the National League Championship and lost to the Yankees in the World Series. Welcome back to Yankee Stadium, Rudy Law. As it so happens in World Series competition, the little guy becomes the giant. Filling in for the injured Willie Randolph, this little giant led both teams in hitting in the 1978 World Series and helped lead the Yankees to another championship. Here's one of the heroes of '78, Brian Doyle. Our next Dodger guest spent his 11-year career in the American League. He was a vital member of the 1981 Dodger team that upset the Yankees in the World Series. He also caught the final out in center field. He's with the Dodgers from 1981 to 1987. How about a hand for Ken Landreau? Here's a fellow who joined the Yankees in 1977, had a big hand in helping them win the pennant. He became only the 14th Yankee to hit 3 home runs in a game and the 3rd to hit 2 dingers in a single inning. A great guy in the lineup or off the bench. Here's Cliff Johnson. He won the Rookie of the Year award in 1962 and made a game-saving catch in that year's World Series. He wore Yankee pinstripes for 9 seasons, during which he won a Gold Glove in 1965. Ladies and gentlemen, greet Tommy Trash. This Dodger reliever is no stranger to Yankee Stadium. He pitched 6 years in the American League with Baltimore and Seattle after his Dodger career, and he appeared in 2 games of the 1981 World Series. A 9-year big league veteran. Let's greet Tom Niedenfuhrer. Our next Yankee old-timer joined the Bombers in time to play a vital role in the 1977 and 1978 World Championship teams. He's one of the Major's best, smoothest, and most elegant center fielders. Let's meet and greet Paul Blair. Our next guest arrived in New York time to be a participant in the greatest comeback ever in 1978. Served as a pinch hitter and a backup outfielder and appeared in 2 games of the 1978 series. The one-time Yankee broadcaster and now a TV personality, Jay Johnstone. Our next guest will always be a part of Yankee history in and out of pinstripes. In 1977, he pitched and won 2 complete games against the Dodgers, including the finale. The following year, he was with the Red Sox and was the victim of Bucky Dent's 3-run homer in the thrilling playoff game. Let's give a big Yankee welcome to Mike Torres. Here's a left-hander who worked both sides of today's game. He was Rookie of the Year with the Dodgers in 1980 as strictly a reliever. He finished his career with the Yankees and did an excellent job coming out of the bullpen. Sounds strange calling him an old-timer. Let's meet and greet Steve Howe. Remember the Yankee whose hat fell off when he delivered his high, hard one? This Yankee had a couple of years when the hat was really flying off. He rang up 21 victories in 1963. That's one of the highlights of his 10-year Major League career. He's an accomplished author, a broadcaster, and we welcome him back to Yankee Stadium, Jim Bouton.
Welcome home. There he is, Jimmy.
There will be a hero of the 1970 World Championship, and our next guest is certainly one of them. He had a major hand in the greatest comeback ever when he won 8 straight games down the stretch. He not only got the Yankees into a playoffs, he became the first native-born Puerto Rican to win 20 games in a season. He came to the Yankees in a great trade along with Mickey Rivers for Bobby Bonds. Let's remember and greet Ed Figueroa. Unusual delivery made him a fan favorite wherever he played. He spent 19 years in the majors as the only man who smoked a cigar while taking a shower. He also made up for his time with the Red Sox with a couple of very good seasons with the Yankees. Here he is, El Tiante, Luis Tiant. This old-timer started his career with the Dodgers and spent 16 years playing in both leagues. A fine third baseman. Let's greet Ken McMullen. This next guest became a star left fielder and somewhat of a Yankee fixture during his 15-year career. He is among the top 20 all-time Yankees in 7 offensive departments, and he always seemed to get a big hit when it was needed most. The modern-day, old, reliable Roy White. Guest was a Dodger stalwart for 13 years. He played in 4 World Series, including 3 against the Yankees, a clutch hitter, and an excellent defensive catcher. Let's meet Steve Yeager. Ladies and gentlemen, it is traditional at this time that we pause here to introduce some of our favorite people we have with us today. Sitting in the club box, Mrs. Arlene Howard, widow of the great Ellie. And also, Mrs. Jill Martin, widow of the Yankees' longtime #1, Billy Martin. We now ask that you please rise for a moment of silence while we recall the people that baseball has lost since the last Old Timers Day. From the Yankee family, Gabe Paul, George Fisker, Steve Hamilton, Buddy Hassett, Russ Meyer, Ken Hunt, Leo Righetti, Richie Brock, Joe Gallagher, John Wyatt, John Lizzo, and Gene Monahan Sr. And those we have lost from baseball: Jerry Doggett, Al Campanis, Johnny Vandermeer, Richie Ashburn, Rex Barney, Roy McMillan, Eddie Sawyer, Eddie Miller, Ray Bengay, Manny Salvo, Roger Bowman, Woody English, Dolph Camilli, Joe Coleman, Johnny Dickshot, Jim Hearn, Vic Lombardi, Thornton Lee, Dick Littlefield, Joe Hauser, Art Summers, Dewey Soriano, Milo Candini, Harry Carey, Clyde Castleman, Fred Hatfield, Ray Noble, and Buck Leonard. To all that have passed on, we honor you and remember you on this 52nd annual Old Timers Day. And now back to our Old Timers Day introductions. This next Yankee, he started out as a shortstop, but his talent dictated he moved to the outfield. He became a standout center fielder and a fan favorite. He became one of only 4 Yankees to hit homers on 4 successive times at bat. A 1972 Gold Glove winner who is now in the broadcast booth. Let's meet the ever popular and my idol, Bobby Mercer.
And my man Louie, yeah.
Well, you saw Louie about this man's career. You'd say that's impossible.
He
broke into the big leagues in 1963, but missed the 1975 season because of a serious operation. He pitched for and against the Yankees in series competition and returned home this season as a broadcaster. He didn't hang up his glove until after the 1989 campaign. A big welcome for the Yankee broadcaster and a great player, Tommy John. Our next Yankee is spunky, colorful, and lovable. He played the outfield with great skill and excelled as an outstanding first baseman. His role in the Yankee family as one of the most popular speakers on the circuit has made him a fan favorite. The one, the only, Joe Pepito. Well, this fellow can play on either team this afternoon, spending time with both the Yankees and the Dodgers in his 17-year career. He played in 2 World Series, one as a Yankee and one as a Dodger. And of course, he's in the highlight films forever for delivering the pitch that Hank Aaron hit to break Babe Ruth's career home run mark. A big welcome for Al Downing. Well, this next Yankee provided one of the great thrills in this stadium. It was 1983. It was against the Red Sox. Wade Boggs was standing in that batter's box. Well, you know what happened. He's the 6th Yankee to throw a no-hitter, and the 2nd lefty since George Mogridge did it in 1917. No Yankee has pitched in more games or has in more saves. A class act. Rags Dave.
His hair's not even gray yet.
Our next guest had an 11-year career in pinstripes, leaving his mark in Yankee history with a home run title and most homers by a third baseman. Who can forget his defensive plays in the 1977 and 1978 World Series? Now back with the Yankee family as a scout, one of the most spectacular third basemen of all time, won a pair of batting titles in his 18-year career and hit .400 against the Yankees in the 1963 World Series. A key figure on the teams that he played with, Tommy Davis. Well, this fellow wore many hats during his still continuing career. He was a player, he was a coach, a manager, a scout, a general manager, and now the head of scouting. As a player, he was a great shortstop and a clutch hitter. And as a GM, well, he helped build this Yankee team that you're enjoying in 1998. Give a warm welcome to the stick, Gene Michael. This is a great guy and was quite a pitcher in his days with the Dodgers. He will always be linked with Bobby Thompson as the man who threw the pitch that was hit for the home run, heard round the world. Well, he had a great career. You shouldn't only remember that. A fine pitcher and a great gentleman, Ralph Branca. Well, another great Yankee relief pitcher is making his 2nd Old Timers Day appearance. He had a 20-year career, 6 in pinstripes, during which he led the league in saves twice. And who can forget when he got the final out of the 1978 playoff game against the Red Sox. Remember, Carl Yastrzemski popped up? Well, the man who threw the pitch, Goose, Rich Gossage. Years. Although he was considered an enemy, he stands as the epitome of the Dodgers, having spent a half-century in the organization, one of baseball's great ambassadors, and a recent Hall of Fame inductee. Now the Dodgers general manager. Let's give a big welcome to a man who bleeds Dodger blue, Tommy Lasorda. You know, Tommy, the blue might come out as pinstripes. Our next Yankee great was a rock-steady infielder and a dangerous hitter. Played on 4 pennant winners, came back to be a part of the 1996 World Championship team as a coach. Well, he's also one of the finest gentlemen in the game. A big hand for the current Yankee third base coach, Willie Randolph. How many people remember the 9th inning of Game 5, the deciding game of the 1976 Championship Series against Kansas City? Remember it? Okay. Well, this man led off with a home run against Mark Littell in the 9th inning, and Yankee fans around the world went wild. He stayed around for 2 World Championships and then managed successfully in the minors. It's a pleasure to have him on hand every day as the Yankees hitting coach, another gentleman, Chris Chambliss. Was called up in August of 1964. He won 9 games to propel the Yankees into a comeback pennant victory. He started 3 times against Bob Gibson in that World Series. 3 times a 20-game winner, and now teaching today's Yankees the tricks of the trade, the current Yankees pitching coach, Mel Stottlemyre. Our next old-timer shook up the Yankee record books in 1978, climaxing an amazing year with the Cy Young Award. In that year, he struck out 19 in 1 game right here at Yankee Stadium. He posted 9 shutout victories, struck out 248 batters, all Yankee records. He was 25-3, 1.74 ERA. Let's welcome Louisiana Lightning. Was a standout pinch hitter with power, and once hit homers in 4 consecutive times at bat. In 1961, he had 21 homers, including a key pinch hit home run in Game 3 of the World Series. His 10 pinch hit World Series appearances is a record. Let's welcome the pinch hitter deluxe, Johnny Blanchard. This Yankee old-timer has been successful in baseball in a variety of roles. He was a Yankee in the early 80s as a player and played in the 1981 World Series for the Bombers. As a general manager, he helped build the 1996 World Championship team. He scored the game's millionth run. It's a great pleasure to welcome back Bob Watson. As a rookie, this next fellow hit .340 and went on to become one of the Yankees' best right-handed hitters. Only Joe DiMaggio and Tony Lazzari hit more homers from the right side. He wore pinstripes for 9 years and was on 7 championship teams. Always a great competitor and a welcome visitor here to Yankee Stadium. Here he is, Bill Skowron. This old-timer was a great Yankee for 12 years, during which he played on 9 championship teams. He set a record by hitting in 17 consecutive World Series games. He had hits in his first 3 at-bats as a Yankee, and you know what? He never stopped being a tough out. Here's the old Marine, Hank Bauer. They say good things come in and small package, and in this case, boy, are they right. One of the all-time great Yankees, and voted the all-time Yankee shortstop. A Hall of Famer, a legend behind the microphone, and really one terrific person. The one, the only, Scooter, Phil Rizzuto. Shutouts. He's a native New Yorker, the backbone of the Yankee pitching staff for years, and always a fan favorite, a big game pitcher. Here's the chairman of the board, Whitey Ford. Of our next guest. As long as baseball lives, so will his name and his accomplishments. He's the proud possessor of one of baseball's proudest records, hitting in 56 straight games. He exemplifies the Yankees with his class and elegance. The greatest living ball player, he'll always be the Yankee Clipper, Joltin' Joe DiMaggio. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would turn your attention to the MSG Radio WABC booth right behind home plate, where my partner on the radio side, John Sterling, has a special announcement. John?
Thank you, Michael. Ladies and gentlemen, as all of you know, it's become a tradition at this juncture of Old Timers Day to turn the microphone over to the legendary Mel Allen. Well, sadly, Mel is no longer with us, but today, as part of the 52nd Old Timers Day ceremonies, the Yankees will posthumously bestow their highest honor on the longtime and forever voice of the Yankees. If you will, please direct your attention now to the Diamond Vision screen.
Mel, you're on.
Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen.
Well, Red, the camera is back on us, and it was a tremendous series. Congratulations, Mel, on the great job, and congratulations to the New York Yankees.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Bambino, Babe Ruth!
Thank you.
fiance, maybe. How do you think?
In the fabled 95-year history of the New York Yankees, only 20 of the greatest Yankees of all time have been honored with the dedication of a monument or a plaque here at Yankee Stadium. Today, the great tradition continues with only the third plaque to be dedicated to a non-uniform member of the Yankee family. Mel Allen first broadcast Yankee baseball in 1939. During his tenure, became as synonymous with Yankee championship teams as the greatest players whose exploits he broadcast to millions of fans around the world. It's more than fitting that this plaque will forever hang among the greatest names in Yankee history.
Let us remember now these great men who Mel Allen will join in Monument Park. Miller Huggins, Jacob Ruppert, Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, Ed Barrow, Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, Casey Stengel, Joe McCarthy, Thurman Munson, Elston Howard, Roger Maris, Phil Rizzuto, Billy Martin, Lefty Gomez, Whitey Ford, Bill Dickey, Yogi Berra, Ali Reynolds, Don Mattingly, and today the legendary voice of the Yankees, Mel Allen.
Direct your attention now to Monument Park, where Mel's brother Larry and his sister, Mrs. Esther Kaufman, are joined by Yankee manager Joe Torre to unveil only the third plaque to a non-uniform member of this prestigious franchise.
Ladies and gentlemen, the plaque reads, Mel Allen, the voice of the Yankees, 1939-1964. With his warm personality and signature greeting, "Hello there, everybody," he shaped baseball broadcasting by charismatically bringing the excitement and drama of Yankees baseball to generations of fans. He made pet phrases such as "going, going, gone" a part of our language and culture. A Yankee institution, a national treasure. How about that? The plaque is dedicated today, July 25th, 1998, by the New York Yankees.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And now, let's play ball.
Thanks to John Sterling, and what a great honor for Mel Allen, a great Yankee broadcaster, a plaque with others now back in Monument Park. Talking with Gene Michael, the manager of this Yankee all-time team here this afternoon. He's going to go to Ron Guidry to start it off, and he said if Guidry's got to strike someone out, you will see that hard slider. Here's Robert Merrill.
Thank you. Will you please join me in singing America the Beautiful, because it is the most beautiful country in the world. Where else can we honor these great athletes, great public, in the most wonderful stadium in the whole world? America is beautiful. Join me. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crowned thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Once more, America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Thank you. God bless you.
Robert Merrill with America the Beautiful on the 52nd Old Timers Day here at Yankee Stadium. I mentioned Ron Guidry will start. We'll be back with more from the house that Ruth built here in the 1998 edition of Old Timers Day. It's coming up in just a moment on MSG.
Over. Pop up. Going out is Doyle. Coming on to make the catch is Roy White.
Well, go back to 1978, Al. You know who Ron Guidry's 200th strikeout was?
You?
Yep. You know who Nolan Ryan's 200th strikeout that year was?
You?
Right. A week before Ron Guidry got before his 200th, Nolan Ryan did.
All right, the hitter is Steve Yeager, the rugged catcher of the Dodgers. He, of course, part of the rivalry that created the theme for this day. The Yankees and the Dodgers meeting in the series in the late 70s, and the Dodgers finally getting revenge in 1981. Coming over is Paul Blair. He's not only playing right field and center field, he's playing a little left field, too. 2 outs. Here's the 81 World Series when Steve Yeager faced Ron Guidry, and here's what happened. Yes, it was. It was gone. Ron Cey was the MVP of the series that year as the Dodgers beat the Yankees and overcome the pain they felt from 77 and 78. Yeager, of course, received a horrific injury when a broken bat went into his throat, and for years after that wore a protection that some catchers still wear today. To Nettles at third off the bat of Lee Lacy. And a good scoop at first. Chris Chambliss pulls it in, and Greg Nettles throws it all the way across the diamond for the out. So 1 inning complete in this 3-inning affair on the day we celebrate 52 Old Timers Days in the Bronx. We're back at Yankee Stadium, all filled up for the Old Timers today in the Bronx. The Yankees later will take on the Chicago White Sox. Steve Yeager will be behind the plate. The starting pitcher for the Dodgers, also a Yankee, of course, Al Downing.
Downing originally came up with the Yankees before he went out to the, what they call the left coast out there in L.A.
Jay Johnstone, he's got a Yankee shirt underneath that Dodger shirt. Of course, he's allowed. We take you around the diamond at short, Lee Lacy. The third baseman will be Ken McMullen. Tommy Davis is out there, too. He's at first. And there's McMullen over at third.
Mullen started out with the Washington Senators. Tommy Davis for years. As we look at the outfield, it's like Lou Johnson is Rudy Law. who had great speed during his day. We'll see what type of speed he has today covering Yankee Stadium center field. And Ken Landreau also played center field for a while.
Landreau's over in right. Well, in games like this, you've got to go to some of the younger players to provide a little bit of a live bat presence, and certainly you need a few live arms out there to get the ball to home plate. Al Downing will provide that. Roy White in the on-deck circle, leading it off for the Yankees, will be Willie Randolph. Willie also played for both franchises.
Willie appeared in many a postseason game. He has over 200 chances in the postseason without making an error. Shows you how steady it was when the money was on the table.
So as you watch all these players have a great time, and you listen to Jim Bouton, who is cherishing this return to Yankee Stadium like it is an absolute jewel in his life. It's too bad that Reggie Jackson, Don Mattingly, and Yogi Berra aren't part of this whole thing today. But certainly when Yogi's name was announced and a big cheer went up for him, maybe the thought of hearing one of those cheers in person one day will bring him back. Al Downing's first pitch to Willie Randolph is a ball. Randolph to center field and deep. Moving back is Rudy Law, and he pulls it down.
Well, we're finding out how fast Rudy Law is. Looked like he can pick him up and still lay him down. Got back underneath that ball and made the play. Well, how about Willie Rand? He must have been taking batting practice.
I think he's been cheating. Willie had the muscle.
Rudy Law had the speed, makes the catch.
Law and order in center field provided by Rudy. Now it's Roy White. He fouls it off. I thought the other thing that was fabulous about the ceremonies was the integration of Bob Shepard's voice to introduce the names of the players honored at Monument Park. Line drive, just foul.
And of course, Michael Kay and John Sterling did their usual excellent job, and you know, Bob Shepard probably introduced just about all of these old-timers at one time or another.
Yes, he did. He started here at Yankee Stadium in 1951. Shepard told me recently, line drive off the glove of the first baseman, Tommy Davis. And he's yelling at Roy White.
That might got a little meat on that bare hand.
Bruce Gowron coaching at first base. Whoops.
Whoops, that did get a thumb.
He let that play him, didn't he?
Tommy Davis was a designated hitter when I went over to Baltimore in 1975, and he was like the veteran of the ball club. His nickname was Uncle Tired.
Well, the Yankees in 1998 are stacked and filled with depth. This Yankee team we're seeing here today has got some depth to it, too. Randolph, Roy White, Chris Chambliss now with a pop-up. Pulling it down at short is Lee Lacy. So Chambliss is retired, and that'll bring up the man who brought hair dryers to the locker room, Joe Pepitone.
He also brought a Yankee Stadium stroke to the plate. Dead pull hitter, pull the ball down that right field line and get many a home run into that lower deck. That familiar stance.
Get out of the way. Well, Tiante getting set in the Yankee dugout. A little bloop. That's a foul ball.
Well, Joe trying to cross him up and go the other way after all these years.
Boy, were Paul Blair and Luis Tiant going at each other in the clubhouse before the game. Fun stuff to listen to. Of course, Al Downing, as Michael Kay said, gave up Henry Aaron's 715th home run. Sort of a strange way to put yourself in the memory banks of every baseball fan in the country.
Somebody had to do it. It was inevitable.
It might be.
The way it
could be. It's 7:15. Pepitone sends one pretty deep to right. Moving over is Landreau. He makes the running catch. We're seeing some good defense here in the first inning of Old Timers Day at Yankee Stadium. Luis Tiant when we come back.
Welcome back to Old Timers Day. Mike Crispino in the Yankee dugout with Dave Righetti. He's got a tough assignment. You have to pitch possibly for both teams this afternoon, you're telling me?
Yeah, we have a lot of pitchers here, and I guess the Dodgers didn't have that many, so maybe Lasorda will pitch. I don't know, but if they need a couple extra guys, I think I'm going to be out there.
All right, you're busy in the San Jose area. You were telling me involved in sports still, correct?
Yeah, I do some coaching for the little guys and help one of my daughter's schools. I'm on the board of directors, and between that, we have some sport bar company that we build softball fields and soccer fields, things like that. So I'm busy helping out with Mom after my dad passed.
It was a July afternoon, not like this because it was hot and humid back when you pitched your no-hitter on July 4th. Can you remember that like it was yesterday?
Not really. I remember part of it, but that was really, I only started a couple more games and then I went to the bullpen. So I think every year, it was funny when Wellesley, I was out in San Francisco and I watching Al Leiter pitch and at Candlestick. I was there that day, and that was the same day that, Boomer threw the perfect game. And that kind of rejolted a little bit. My son was with me. It was his first game, and he was asking me what the big thing was. What's a perfect game? So I said, well, I don't know for sure, but let's go home and I'll show you what a no-hitter looks like anyway. So I watched it for the first time in a long time.
All right, thanks to Dave Righetti. And by the way, Alan Kenny, he follows us on the Bird out in the San Jose area. Back to you.
All right, Mike, Tommy Davis is singled into right field. It's interesting always to hear how athletes who are involved in big games remember it. Some have an absolutely vivid memory of every pitch, and others don't.
Louis still has those moves out on the mound. You notice that?
Yes, he does.
A little head bob and the sidearm pitch to the right-handed hitters. First time I ever faced Louis Tiant was in an exhibition game in Winter Haven, Florida, and the first pitch knocked me down.
Tom Niedenfuhr is the pinch runner in the game over at first base. Tommy Davis will take a seat. The hitter's Ken Landreau. Tiant, of course, is from Cuba, like El Duque, and like El Duque, has a lot of release points. Here's Tommy. That's a day's work. Infield pop-up. Chambliss over to make the play. One out here in the second inning.
Before the game, there was a nice session with Louis Tiant and El Duque, Orlando Hernandez. They had a chance to take a few photos, and certainly reminiscent of Louis coming out of Cuba years ago and El Duque just a few months ago.
Kurt Gowdy was a broadcaster, of course, at that time, and he said he comes from everywhere except between his legs. Deep to the corner and left, and Roy White can't make a play. Great to see Frank Messer again and hear his voice echoing here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Talk about gentlemen.
One thing the pitchers don't like in old timers, they don't want anybody hitting the ball back through the middle.
Ground ball. Beautifully turned. Randolph Doyle over to Chambliss. How about that? A 4-6-3 double play.
Well, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yes, they do. One more time, like they just did it yesterday. More on MSG in a moment.
Let's clear up something. Ken Singleton says you once knocked him down. You were mad at him, you threw at him, you knocked him down. Is that correct?
No, what happened, Mike, it was welcome.
I get mad, but I know they're knocking nobody down.
It was a welcome to the American League in an exhibition game.
All right, it was an exhibition game. It was his first game in the American League, and you kind of just brushed him back. Well, we're getting the history of it anyway. Have you got a chance to see Orlando Hernandez, El Duque, pitch for the Yankees this year?
I see about 3 times already on TV, and he's good. He's a good pitcher. He's going to get better. And like I said, he got the package coming with every good pitcher. He got the heart, he got the mind, and he got the control.
He's got a little of El Tiante in him as well, and that will serve him well. All right, Al, back to you.
All right. Mike, Bobby Mercer gets a nice hand, and he, of course, is wearing a microphone with us today, facing Steve Howe.
Oh, that ball was outside a little bit.
That was over the plate, Bob.
It's a darn left-handers again.
Hey, Bobby, it figures you get up there and they have a lefty in there for you.
Yep.
You've been waiting all year for this. They put a lefty.
Dodgers, you know, I'll tell you what.
Oh, Bob. Oh, you got a piece of it.
Right off the bus.
Foul tip, I dropped it.
Foul tip.
How's Steve Howe's stuff, Bobby?
That's all right. I'll vote for you.
Mercer gets into one. Out to right. Pulling it down is Kenny Landreau.
Oh, you just missed it.
Got it. I thought I had it.
Did you, Bob? Did you think it was out?
You know what? I was using Chad Curtis's bat. I was using a right-hander's bat. But I had it.
2 outs here in the Yankees second. Paul Blair, the always graceful center fielder, against Steve Howe, who's lucky to be with us. Steve has had a lot of problems in his life, that's for certain, but a couple of years ago was involved in a motorcycle accident that saw him go hurtling through a barbed wire fence, and the barbed wire almost, and I mean this literally, took his head off.
Wow.
He's got a huge scar across his neck. It still affects his speech, but he's still got that same personality.
Years ago, Blair played for Baltimore, and we were standing in the outfield before the game, and a fan yells out, "Singleton, you're the luckiest right fielder in this league. There are 2 center fielders in the league, and Blair is both of them."
Paul was one of those players that defined his position. 1977, Game 1, the World Series, and it's the game-winning hit in the very first game that helped propel the Yankees to victory over the same Dodgers that they face today. That was a good day here in the Bronx for Paul Blair. To center field. And Rudy Law's got it. Quick game, this old-timers game. We've played 2. Bobby Mercer gave it a ride, but all it wound up being was an out. But Bobby, you still got the swing. And maybe a little temper, too. Darn it. That's because he spent hours, literally, talking to all the reporters who wanted to hear what he had to say about this long-awaited return to Yankee Stadium after a 3-decade absence. His 2 big years were 63 and 64. 63, the real highlight of his career. 21-7 with an ERA of 2.53. Boughton also got a lot of attention when he was out of the game for 8 years and attempted to return to the Atlanta Braves. That didn't work out, and on his first pitch, he gets the hat to fall off like it always used to. I think he's throwing some knuckleballs up there, Kenny.
Having trouble getting it to the plate at the moment. Not the elasticity in those muscles that there once were, maybe 30 years ago. I think more or less that the guys come out here and have fun seeing each other more so than playing the game.
Here it is. He nodded to somebody who asked him if it was a knuckleball, but it wasn't. But it certainly looks like it is.
The speed of a knuckleball.
I thought it was really nice of the players who had already been introduced. When Jim Boughton got out there after being introduced, they said, "Welcome home." More than one of them. The book that he wrote, Ball 4, was deemed by the New York Public Library as one of the most important books of the century. It certainly changed the public perception of the way players behave, but I think history has proven that what Jim Boughton wrote was largely true.
And, you know, some of the behavior of players nowadays is a lot worse than it was back then. It was mild.
Boughton definitely taking it all in and loving the fact that he is back in the Bronx. So he gets credit for a third.
It looks like Jack Aker.
Jack, the former Yankee, was at the summer camp at my son's school, Kenny, and all the kids who never saw Jack Aker pitch, I'm talking 7 or 8 years old, all made a point of telling me how great Jack was with all the kids at the camp. He was absolutely outstanding. Roy White makes the catch, and Jack Aker's done his job.
1/3 of an inning. Looks like everybody's going to get a chance to pitch. Lou Johnson hit that ball to left field, and it was...
Now, you're not going to believe who's going to hit now. It's going to be Tommy Lasorda, who took batting practice here today.
I'm surprised Tommy hasn't hit the bat. While he was managing the Dodgers all those years, he actually threw a lot of batting practice. Stan Bonson, the Steamers on the mound.
Tommy, of course, now the general manager with the LA Dodgers. And that whole shakeup that has drastically reformed the front office. Look at Cliff Johnson. And instead, Bonson decides to go a little bit more over the plate. So it's 1-1 on Tommy. Popped up. Coming over is Brian Doyle. And he pulls it out of the sun. And that's it for the Dodgers here in the 3rd and final inning. Coming up, the Yankees' last chance to score a run and win this.
I want to see the Dodgers move. I want to see them up where they belong. And we're not just doing it for this year. We're going to try to do it for the next 4 or 5 years.
All right, New York baseball fans are seeing Mike Piazza. They're happy to have him now. Will he be back in New York, or might you bring him back to the LA Dodgers?
I really don't know. I haven't talked to Mike since he left the Dodgers. I know one thing. I love him very, very much. I've raised him. He's like a son to me. And him and his father, we grew up together. We're the best of pals. And I wish him nothing but the best. Whatever he wants to do, wherever he wants to go, I wish him nothing but the best.
All right, quick thought on 81 here, standing on this dugout steps. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I remember it very well. Steve Howe was pitching. Bull Watson was the hitter. Yeager was the catcher. He had a fly ball to Kenny Landreau in center field, and we brought the championship flag back to Los Angeles where it belonged.
All right, after 2 disappointments, the Dodgers did it in 81. Thanks to Tommy Lasorda. Al, back to you.
All right, Mike, outstanding throw from Lee Lacy at short to get Cliff Johnson at first, and a heated dispute. Dirt was kicked on the umpire. It was horrible. Meanwhile, it's the Yankees' last chance.
Anybody's last chance.
This is it.
Yep.
2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. It's a 3-inning game. Tom Niedenfuhr is on the mound. Elliot Maddox swings at him. Big swing it was, 0-2.
Trying to win it all with one swing of the bat. I had a chance to talk to Elliot in the Yankee locker room. He said he's had knee replacement surgery. Remember all those knee problems he had? He was injured over at Shea Stadium. Stepped in a drain in the outfield.
And how about him putting on the uniform, coming out here and playing? Good for him. 2-2. The hits are one apiece, as if anyone will remember. Bobby Mercer hit it out near the warning track. Jim Bouton threw a 1/3 of an inning. And a Yankee base hit, their 2nd of the old-timers game. This is the franchise that started Old-Timers Day 52 editions ago. And since no one on this earth knows their true destiny, we live with what we've been in our lives, and it's amazing how some of the defining moments of these men's lives came against the same men who are on the field today. For Brian Doyle, it was 1978. Willie Randolph was hurt. The Yankees put Brian Doyle in, and he led everybody in hitting. He was the headline performer of the 1978 World Series. Not big-time power, but boy, did this guy have tremendous timing.
Plus, he was an excellent fielder, so the Yankees really didn't lose that much in the field by losing Willie Randolph during that series.
And they got the offense as a bonus.
There was a time when Maddox might take off.
Doyle out to right. And look at the basket catch. Some of these guys, they're showing off. Ken Landreau pulls it down. Now, it was supposed to be a 3-inning game.
Oh, we got one more.
Oh, they want to decide this thing, right, Bob? We're going to play one more inning, it appears.
They say no. Stick, is it over or what is it? Is it? We're playing another inning? Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, Ernie Banks would love this.
It's fun. Let me ask you one quick question. You remember Ken Singleton? Oh, okay. I had it all fixed up for Kenny. Wait a minute, we need a right fielder. I'll see you guys later, all right? Hey, thanks for coming. Now, and thanks for cheering for us, too, okay? Bye-bye, yeah.
I guess he doesn't get cable.
He picked somebody who was 11 years old. How was he supposed to remember me?
So on we go here to the fourth inning. Bobby Mercer has assumed his position. And Rudy Law takes ball 4.
Oh, no.
I believe that's Mike Torres on the mound for the Yankees. Yes, it is. And when they announced that he gave up Bucky Dent's home run, when Michael Kay said it, he got out there and said to the players, boy, they're never going to let me forget that one, are they?
Mike Torres and I were traded together from Montreal to Baltimore.
So Mike faces one batter, and now Mel Stottlemyre takes to the mound. Of course, Mel's star pupil, Hideki Irabu, will pitch against the Chicago White Sox later. Of course, the Yankees, to have an old-timers day, just have to go into their clubhouse and get Mel. One quick out there. Willie Randolph and Chris Chambliss, and that's exactly how Mel will tell his pitchers to do it. One pitch, one out.
Just make him hit him at somebody.
It was fun seeing Chuck Knobloch, who had the video camera recording his own memories of the day. Mariano Rivera was in the dugout meeting some of the old-timers. And, of course, there's a lot of schmoozing in the clubhouse, too. Because these Yankees got dressed in the same clubhouse of the Yankees that'll play later.
Ed Figueroa. Great curveball in his day. My first year to minor leagues, he was a teammate of mine.
Deep in the hole, Doyle to Randolph, and they just missed turning their second double play of the game. Doyle looks very good at short, Kenny.
Very active out there. That was a pretty tough play. Thrown off balance, made an accurate throw to Willie Randolph at second. Ed Figueroa, one pitch, get a force, and out of the ball game.
And here's Dave Righetti with 2 outs in this fourth inning. That's Tommy Davis getting set to hit. Yeah, it is Tommy.
Tommy Davis drove in 153 runs for the Los Angeles Dodgers in 1962.
I wonder if they talked about Hack Wilson that year the way they're talking about Hack Wilson this year. Another ground ball, another chance for Doyle. Randolph is there, and that's it. The Dodgers are erased again. So this will now be the Yankees' last chance to maybe win this old-timers day, or maybe they'll just keep playing.
Yeah, I was going to be a Hall of Famer just like him. You know, thousands of fans cheering me on. Then, right about the time I got to juniors, it started to dawn on me. What I really needed from my dad was some help paying for college. Now I'm working on my master's degree in physical therapy.
The Dime is the official bank of the 1998 Goodwill Games.
We're back at Old Timers Day. Gene Michael just stumbled getting out of the batter's box, and he's going to be retired with a ground ball to short.
Now watch, it's the first time I've ever seen this. Gene Michael with a routine ground ball to short, which turned out to be anything but routine, as he lost his shoe coming out of the box.
The player manager of this Yankee old-timers team today, Willie Randolph, is the hitter, and he'll face former Dodger and former Yankee, of course, Tommy John. Tommy's reconstructed elbow still working after all these years.
Tommy John had probably the best sinker ball pitcher of his day.
Randolph deep to left. At the wall. Gone! Willie Randolph hits a home run, and the Yankees beat the Dodgers.
All right, Willie! Hey, we beat the Dodgers! Take that, Dodgers! Take that, Tommy Lacerda! Yay! Hey! Hey, hey! All right, baby! Nice going!
gave it up, and Willie Randolph hit it out. And the 1998 Yankees that may be watching this in the Players Lounge will have a high five or two for their third base coach when he takes the walk up the runway and rejoins them. Michael Kay talking to him on the radio. He's your obvious star of the game. Willie Randolph with a game-winning home run in the bottom of the decisive fourth inning. And so on this day that celebrates everything the Yankees are as a franchise, the Pinstripes win again.